What up, Rihanna Navy? In this episode of Badass Brand Breakdown, we're talking about your girl, Rihanna. Welcome back, y'all. My name is Liz Marie. I'm a brand strategist and creative director, and I work with women and BIPOC entrepreneurs to get clarity, level up their brands, and build super powerful brands that bring them real economic power, real generational wealth. And in this series, I break down some of my favorite brands to help you understand how personal brands really work in the real world. So today we're talking about the queen of being unapologetically herself, Miss Rihanna.
I'm not looking for a man. Let's start there.
Only one word needed. We all know who she is because she is a global icon. I still remember the first time I ever saw Upon the Replay. I've been obsessed with Rihanna for her whole career, her fashion, her fearlessness, all of the amazing things that clearly millions and millions of other people around the world know and love her for. Because I am not alone. She is the best-selling digital artist of all time and one of the best all-around selling artists of all time. She's a 9-time Grammy winner, a fashion icon, a renowned philanthropist, and she has had this incredible evolution from her initial cookie cutter pop star type of image that was really molded by other people through the good girl gone bad era, all the way to this unapologetic, I don't give a fuck persona that she embodies and that people love her for.
Wow, how disappointing was that question?
So let's talk about Rihanna's brand. She has an incredible personal brand that extends across so many different facets of business and really just cultural impact, but she doesn't necessarily have a established brand strategy the way some other people might. She's really just being herself, and her personal values, her personality is coming through in all of the decisions that she makes and everything that she does. So it's not like she has a core message or a tagline written down somewhere that I've taken note of. This is really just observations based on how she lives her life and how she has built her career. If I were to identify the one core message that Rihanna stands for, it's being unapologetically free. Free to be yourself, free to do what you want to do, sexually free, creatively free. She's all about liberation and just not giving a fuck what other people think about it, doing you. All of this is evidenced very, very clearly in her personality, her brand personality, which is really her personality. She perfectly fits the rebel brand archetype. She is fearless and daring, outspoken, super blunt. Like I've said a million times, she's unapologetic. She just doesn't give a fuck what other people think. But she really balances that out with softness and sensuality and being sweet. She's known for being like a really nice, caring, sweet person. And another component of this is she's so creative. She is constantly reinventing herself creatively, artistically, in her music, in her fashion. So she's all about this fearless experimentation and expression that cannot be defined. She does not want to be in your box. She's saying, fuck your box. I'm gonna defy all of the limitations you put on me and just watch. And so all of those personality traits tie really clearly into her brand values, her own personal values. One of the biggest ones is inclusivity. Rihanna's from the Caribbean, she's from Barbados. She has strong ties to this day and really represents her country, represents the whole Caribbean, but she's also very pro-Black and really wears symbols of Black culture and identity, whether it's how she styles her hair or wearing a do-rag on the cover of Vogue. Like, these are big symbols for Black culture that she wears with pride and really elevates into the mainstream without apologies. Once again, even further than that, her value of inclusivity has played itself into her brands. And we'll dive deep into some of her own sub-brands in a little bit, but she has brought this to the forefront, whether that's LGBTQIA, whether it's people with disabilities, immigrants, people of all colors, nationalities, ethnicities. She's all about supporting and representing all people. Another core value is freedom. So I mentioned she's all about being free to experiment, free to be yourself exactly as you are without the limitations that society puts on you. And part of that for her is this constant reinvention of experimentation, of trying new things creatively and feeling empowered to do that and encouraging other people to do the same. And so as a result of that, she's constantly pushing boundaries of what's accepted, what's possible, what is part of the mainstream of culture, that, you know, we all know and understand to be true. But that doesn't just apply to her creative direction, her music, statements that she makes. It also applies to her sexuality. She is very big on sexual agency and being a woman with control and ownership of her sexuality. She presents herself however she wants, whether it's through her music, her photo shoots, her lingerie brand. She's all about, yes, I'm a woman that can enjoy sex and take pleasure in it and be in control of the situation and do whatever the fuck I want. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's normal, and there's strength and power in that. And another essential core value to Rihanna and her personal brand is philanthropy and advocacy. So she is super vocal in support of those other values like inclusivity and human rights, education. She started a foundation back in 2012, the Clara Lionel Foundation, that has raised and donated over $80 million. Their mission is to support and fund groundbreaking education and emergency response programs all around the world. And she was actually awarded the NAACP Image President's Award for her philanthropy work. She's known for doing good and giving back in the world. When it comes to Rihanna's visual identity, it's a little different than some of the other brands I've talked about. She doesn't have a specific logo or color palette that she uses constantly in her branding for her own name. However, she has a lot of iconography. She is known most by her fashion. She is known as a fashion icon who can pull off the unpull-offable. If no one else can wear it and make it look good, Rihanna will rock that shit. That's just what she's known for. She takes tremendous fashion risks. She has no fear. There's really no boundaries to what she's willing to try with her clothing, with her hair, the color, the style, with her tattoos. She goes there. That's everything she's all about. Some of it for shock value, some of it for just pushing the limits and being daring and edgy and going against the grain, you know, just to kind of make people uncomfortable and say, fuck it, this is me. And another really cool part of that is she's not necessarily dressing for the male gaze. Like, there's a whole thing around being what society tells you is sexy or beautiful, and she doesn't really give a fuck about that. Certainly, yes, she will dress sometimes or style herself sometimes in ways that fall into that, but she's really not limited by that type of perspective, and that's a very, very super pro-feminist type of mentality. But the biggest part of Rihanna's impact and the breadth and scope of her brand comes down to her brand activation. So what does it actually look like in real life? So obviously Rihanna got her start in music. She's known for really defining a particular type of sound that became so desirable in pop and R&B music that it's like the Rihanna effect. It creates hits. Let's just be honest. She has so many number ones. She's sold over 250 million records worldwide. She's one of the top selling artists of all time. It's really insane. And along with that have come, you know, tours and record sales, digital sales, music videos, all of that comes with music. So that alone would be insane and super impressive and a big contribution to pop culture. But that's not it. So Rihanna started her foray into entrepreneurship, really kind of delving into the fashion and beauty industry with her perfumes. This was like years back. That triggered a kind of domino effect of all of these different collaborations with brands and eventually her own lines. So she had done kind of guest collections or partnerships with Dior, Manolo Blahnik, Puma was a huge one, and eventually launched the Fenty fashion house under LVMH. She was the first woman and first person of color to have a brand under that LVMH, which is really like a luxury brand conglomerate, like Louis Vuitton, you know, all the really, really big ones are part of that parent brand. So that was a tremendous milestone for her. She launched several collections. It's currently on pause right now because of the pandemic, but I would imagine will come back soon. But really that was just the starting point, because then she launched Fenty Beauty. Fenty Beauty changed the fucking game. Everything about Fenty Beauty was designed to be inclusive. So she really revolutionized how people approach creating foundation, concealer, and makeup products for skin. She started out with 40 shades to represent all different types of skin tone. If you're not familiar, a lot of women of color would be really just stuck with one option to represent a huge range of, you know, darker skin tones or different undertones, and there would be like one option for Black women. It's just not fucking realistic and really shitty. So she launched with 40 different colors of foundation and eventually expanded to 50. And now that has become the standard. You really can't have a beauty line without that many options, because hello, there's a tremendous amount of people, billions and billions of people who don't fall into like the default white skin. So that is a perfect example of her inclusivity in action. Then she launched her lingerie brand, Savage by Fenty, which again promoted this inclusivity, not just with different body types, skin colors, women with disabilities, really promoting all types of women are desirable and sexy and deserve to feel desirable and sexy and empowered in their lingerie. And then she has forayed that again into Fenty Skin, so building off of Fenty Beauty and the makeup products, creating a skincare line around that, which has also been tremendously successful. This is not even to mention some of her other investments and brand partnerships like Tidal, the movies that she's acted in, Ocean's 8, for example, or Battleship. This girl is everywhere and she is not slowing down. She's really just begun to hit her stride as an entrepreneur, with her brands being valued billions and billions of dollars already, and she's only 33. The most interesting thing about all of this, however, if we're gonna really break down what makes her so special, is she talented? Yes. Creative? Yes. Smart, savvy, all of those things? Absolutely. But what is most unique and just special, that intangible about Rihanna, is how she's just her fucking self. She's so authentic. You know exactly what you're gonna get, which is her, and she's free to redefine herself at any moment. She's not bound by whatever expectations you have on her. That is why she has been so successful, and why what she does resonates with so many people around the world who either see themselves in that or wish that they could be that free, that genuine, and carry that spirit of unapologetic freedom and rebelliousness into everything that they do. That's certainly why she resonated with me since a very young age and still does to this day. And that's something that you can learn from her if you want to build a powerful brand that really skyrockets and has this tremendous success. One of the most important things you can do is be unapologetically yourself, be true to you, and carry that authenticity into everything that you do. So we just talked about Rihanna, a classic rebel brand archetype. To learn your own brand archetype, check out my guide. You can download it below. And until next time, stay badass. All right, y'all, if you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down there. And check me out at LizMarieStrategy or LizMarieStrategy.com.